Maybe some cool shit will happen. Hey everyone, how's it going? It's ShadBomb77 here, coming to you live with another commentary. This game is TF2, if you didn't already know, and I'm playing as the soldier class with the whip thing and the buff banner, and I got a medic friend of mine healing me. If you didn't see my last TF2 video, this is just the next stage. I had a really good session playing with him, so I thought I'd bring you guys this game. And like I said in the beginning, hopefully something interesting happens, and something did, so I hope you enjoy this. But let's talk about the first topic I wanted to talk about today in this casual commentary kind of thing, and that is the topic of imagination, and if people's imaginations have gone down, and if that's a bad thing or a good thing. So, when I was a kid, and I hate to start out, you know, like back in my day when I was a kid, no. Back when I was a kid in the 90s, the mid-90s, and the early 2000s is when I would consider my childhood. I'm 22 right now. I think imagination wasn't as strong as people made it out to be. I really think that we put rose-colored glasses on a lot of things, such as our childhood. And in the 90s, we still had computers, you know, in the mid-90s. I remember, you know, the first time I played a computer game, per se, was we had Doom 64, or the equivalent of Doom or Wolfenstein or whatever those games were, on a floppy drive. And I remember I went to a friend's house, or it was my dad's friend's house, and they're like, hey, do you want to play this computer game on this floppy disk? And I was like, what's that? And they put it in, and it was the game. I had no idea what it was doing. I was actually kind of afraid of that game, to be honest with you, when I started playing it. Because, you know, even though it is a quote-unquote shitty-looking game, it's still your mind connects the pieces the way it wants to. So I was afraid of Doom 64 for the floppy drive. I don't know. I've never hunted a copy down of that, nor would I want to, because my PC doesn't even have a floppy drive. But regardless, people nowadays say, oh, kids these days don't have an imagination because of, you know, TV and the media and computers and the internet and all that stuff. And partially, I'd say that's true, yeah. Children don't have to connect the dots because of how good things are. And by good, I mean, you know, the graphics in movies, or the graphics in video games, the graphics in any, you know, media that you watch. Back in the day, you know, something like a Chucky movie or a Goosebumps thing, you know, it was really, really shitty quality. I mean, an adult obviously seeing it could see the strings behind it, or, you know, the animation behind it, or how bad it was done. But when you're a kid, you really don't know that these things exist, so your mind kind of connects them together, kind of like with the Doom 64. So nowadays, kids are seeing a more realistic, you know, simulation or graphically created image. So in a sense, their imagination really isn't being as exercised as much as it was before. Not saying that they can't, but if you really think about it, kids who went through public schools in general kind of had their imagination sapped from the beginning, just from taking standardized tests. And I honestly do not like standardized testing at all. SATs, high school exit exam. Yes, some of them are easy. I did fairly well on the SAT. I killed the high school exit exam. But the thing is that it seems like what high school and school in general has become is, how can I do better at this exam? How can I pass this exam? How can I do this to get to another exam? And when you get to the future, it's kind of the same thing too. When you get older into college, it's, how can I pass this college exam? Not, what can I learn from this? And that's kind of, you know, I'm in my last year of college. I'm graduating in 3 weeks. And that's really what I've been kind of looking back at my last couple of weeks, or my last 4 years in college have been, have I been learning stuff to pass a test, to pass a class, or have I been taking something just to better myself and to learn? And I hope it's the latter. I wanted to learn something. That's the only reason I went to college, you know. A lot of people go to college for, you know, to get a good job, or for the quote-unquote experience. But I really hope that I did learn something, and I think I did. But going back to, you know, kids nowadays when they're in imagination, I really think in the future, with the generation of kids now, when they become quote-unquote adults, you're not going to see a decline in the amount of artists there are. You're not going to see a decline in the amount of musicians or people who require, you know, imagination and talent. I don't think that's going to go away. I just think it's going to be different, and I can't tell you what that difference is going to be. I can't tell you what new process is going to come about from that, but new things are going to come about because there's going to be a need for it, and people are going to step up to the plate, and I really want to look at the future in a positive, optimistic light. So I hope you all enjoyed that. Secondly, I wanted to talk about, since we're talking about imagination, and this is like a video game channel for now at least, I want to talk about immersion in video games and how, yes, even though the graphics of a game may be amazing, you still realize it's a video game. And I know things like the Oculus Rift, which if you don't know what the Oculus Rift is, do a Google search on it. It's like a virtual reality thing that they've been developing. And people think that this could be the next big thing when it comes to video games, even bigger than the controller or whatever people say about it. But with things such as the Oculus Rift, I think graphics can only take you so far that a story can. So I'm going to give two examples of this. Now, if you've been following my channel, you know that I've started a Borderlands 2 Let's Play, and that's been going really well, and I've really enjoyed that. It's been really fun to play that game. I literally want to stop recording this right now just to go play it and bring you guys more parts, and that'll be more scheduled uploads of that. But with that game, I really am not immersed into the story at this point. I'm only, maybe like into the 3rd chapter or 4th chapter right now, so maybe I'll be more immersed into it. I don't want to make a judgment call on that, but I'm not that immersed into it as I thought I'd be. But, everyone says, oh, well, maybe it takes you later on in a story to do that. But with Fallout, Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, I was immersed into that story. I wanted to be part of it. I wanted to explore it. I wanted to do all of it within the first 15-20 minutes of playing that game. It's an amazing game. If you haven't played Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas, pick it up for PC or console or whatever. Fallout 3 especially is amazing. Probably game of the decade. I'll even say that. I'm excited for Fallout 4. They keep teasing us with that. But regardless, with Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, you really, really get immersed in that story. You really almost think that the world that you live in, after you get done playing a long session, that could have a nuclear fallout, and you're gonna have to put on Rad-X or or take some stem packs or whatever in the future. Hopefully that's not it. But with Borderlands, I don't know. For me, I just see it as very cartoony, and maybe that's the art style of it. I'm enjoying the game. It's really fun, just like I expected it to be. But I'm not getting as immersed as I thought it'd be, and I consider myself to have an amazing imagination, even being born in the 90s and having to deal with standardized tests. But regardless, I hope you all enjoyed this commentary. I hope it was fun to watch, fun to listen to. I'm trying to bring more scheduled stuff with the Borderlands, but still, don't expect a schedule. Please let me know what you thought about this video. Leave a comment, rating, do what you need to do. Thank you all, and have an amazing day.